all in the recording?
Yeah, okay, so we're recording now.
Sure.
So go ahead and do 1 and 2. Translate.
Wait, I'll just read it again. Vayhi dvar Adonai el Yonah ben Amittai lemor. Kum lech el Nineveh ha'ir hagdolah. Nineveh. Ha'ir hagdolah ukra aleya ki alta ra'atam lefanai. So the word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amittai, saying, get up, go to Nineveh, the great city, and cry against it or her, because her wickedness rose up before me.
Or has risen, or has gone up. Remember, you can take perfects as pluperfects. Does that make sense? What can you tell me about, can you parse ukra?
So this is just an imperative.
With a vav.
All imperative. With a vav.
So you have 3 imperatives: kum, lech, ukra. So then we have verse 3: Vayakom Yonah livroach Tarshisha milifnei Adonai vayered Yafo vayimtza onya ba'at Tarshisha.
Tarshish.
Oh, sorry, Tarshish. That's kind of weird. Vayatin shech. Is this shech?
No.
Oh, oops. Sechara. Vayered ba lavo imahem Tarshisha milifnei Adonai. So Jonah got up to flee towards Tarshish with that locket of hay from before Yahweh. So he went down to Joppa, and he found a boat, Onia. It is Onia, right? I don't see a closed syllable there.
It's Onia.
Yeah, okay. Oh, they correct the pointing. They say, according to the Latin, many manuscripts edit it to be Onia.
Not Onia, but Onia.
Onia. Coming to Tarshish. I think that's a participle. Yep. Coming to Tarshish, and he gave its wage, or he paid its wage or fare, and then he went down in it to go with them towards Tarshish from before Yahweh. Does that make sense, Marcelo? Any questions?
No.
That sounded uncertain.
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, Samuel texted and he said somebody called, which probably means he's on a pastoral call. So his job obviously comes first.
So verse 4. V'yaveh hetil ruach gdola el hayam, or v'Adonai hetil ruach gdola el hayam. ויהי סער גדול בים, והאונייה חישבה להישבר. חישבה להישבר. So the Lord cast, להטיל is to cast, a great wind. The Lord cast a great wind into the sea. So God throws wind into the sea. And a great storm was on the sea. And the ship, okay, the chishva, lechashev normally in the PL means to consider or to calculate. But that's not what it means here. It means it was about to. In this case, it was about to break apart. The ship was about to break apart. Lehi shaver is nifal. From shavar. Shavar, he broke. Lehi shaver, to be broken.
Do you know how, Marcelo, what can you tell me about that verb that tells you it's a nifal? Obviously, or maybe not so obviously, you know that it's an infinitive because of the lamed prefix, right? Hello?
Sorry, I was looking at the Hishva. It's the Hishave. Hishaver, right?
Yes, yes.
Is it because of the dogish and the sheen and the?
Yes, that's one. What is that, dogish? Why is that there?
Is that an assimilated noon?
Yes, the noon of the nifal. And the nifal, remember, is weird. And this just takes practice. But if you see a hey prefix and it's not a hiphil and it has a kametz under it, like the nifal usually does, it's a nifal imperative. The nifal imperative has a hey on it, which is very strange. So that's just something that you have to learn by exposure. Okay. Any questions?
So that's what it said. That's what it is about to break then?
Mm-hmm.
About to be broken. Like it's about to break in parts. Mm-hmm.
Or break itself up, maybe. Maybe it's a reflexive.
So both of these forms form that sentence, about to be broken?
Yeah, chishva in this case means about to.
Okay.
In modern Hebrew, instead of saying this, we would say it stood to be broken. To stand to do something means that you're about to do it. Ani omed la'azov. I'm about to leave. I'm standing to leave. Ani omed la'azov. I'm about to leave. As ha'oniya amada li'shaver. The ship was about to break up, but this is what it means here. Ha'oniya chishva li'shaver.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Verse 5. This is a long one. That's what she said. Yes. Or he said.
Vair'u.
Mm-hmm.
Hamalachim. Vaitzaku. Vayizaku. Ish al alochav.
Ish el.
Elochav.
Uh-huh. Well, ish el, not ish al.
Yeah, ish elochav.
Ish el Elohav.
Ish el Elohav. Oh. Vayatilu.
Very nice.
That's the same word that said that God cast a great wind into the sea. Hetil, vayatilu. It's the same word.
And notice, though, that we call this, for whatever reason, defective spelling because it's missing a yod. but it still has that I-class theme vowel, which is another reason why when you look at verbs, you should think of them in terms of classes and not necessarily in characters, because you don't always have that here at the theme vowel. Vayatilu.
Vayatilu et hakelim asher ba'ania.
Try that again.
Ba'ania.
Try that again. Is that a regular comments, the second one? Or kamats, or kamates, or comets, whatever you want to call it.
Is it ba'onia?
Ba'onia.
Ba'onia.
Notice that the yod is doubled with tagesh, so it really is oniya, oniya. So that yod is prominent.
El hayam.
Right, so vayitilu et hakelim asher ba'oniya el hayam. But before we said va'adonai hitil ruach gedola el hayam. They're throwing the things from the boat into the water the same way that God threw a great wind into the water, into the sea. Right? He cast that into the sea, they cast those things into the sea. It's neat, the contrast that it's showing.
Le'akel me'alechem.
Maleim.
Me'aleim.
Right, not chem, but hem.
Me'alehem. Vayona.
Yonah.
Yarav el irk.
Yar?
Yarkete. Hasfina.
Sfina is the same as onia. They're both boats.
Okay.
Yeshmuel.
Vaishkav. Vayeradam.
Vayeradem. No? Oh, it is Vayeradam. It's normally in the future it's Yeradem. But
this
is
is
not
so
consecutive.
tiny. I'm having a hard time reading.
I think you have a big print.
I need to look at it online or something. Yeah.
But that one looks huge. This one is small.
It's tiny.
That is a big print. That's a Leningradensia.
Look at all the space around it.
Mine is tiny.
My professor actually recommended.
Oh, it's wide margin.
Yes, but it's
Mine
also
is
big
small
print.
margins.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the big Biblia Hebraica Leningradensia is a big Bible with margins, large print. My professor actually recommended that we get one of those so that we could take notes on the text in the margins.
So look at the first word in your verse 5.
Yeah. Right.
Why are there two yods?
Because is this a Hifyu? So there's like a Nereo perfect, or not a Nereo.
What would it be if there were one yod?
This is a good historical grammar question.
Oh boy, I don't.
You've seen the word vayiru. Vayiru.
And we talked about Yarash, which is another one. It goes Yirash, T-rash, T-rash.
This is the verb yira. He will be afraid. Vayireu. Vayireu. This has a long vowel, open syllable. Yi reu. Yi reu. This is they will be afraid. Vayireu. But they saw is vayireu. Vayireu. It's a closed syllable with a short vowel. Vayireu. Vayireu. They saw. Vayireu. They were afraid. You hear the difference? Vayireu. 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 They were afraid. So the double yod there is an indication that this is first yod. It's a first yod root, a real one, not first vav, first yod. Whereas vayir'u is resh aleph hey. It's the root. Or resh aleph yod. So this is the sailors were afraid. Malach is a sailor. Malach. Vayireu hamalachim. The sailors were afraid. Vayizaku.
This is a question. Do y'all know? Is it melach the noun?
No.
Is
Melach. Melach
right?
Is this.
Right. Well, it's related to it. The salty people, the people of salt water, the sailors. Right.
Maybe.
That's how you can remember it. Oh, certainly, it certainly is.
So,
or at least if not, it's a really clever mnemonic and a good way to remember it. I'm pretty sure it's correct though.
so it comes from salt.
I think so.
Melach is salt.
Oh, melach.
And malach is sailor.
Mm.
Okay, and malach is he reigned with chaf. And malach is angel or messenger.
Don't confuse them.
And melech is king.
Right.
And malka is queen. So
Yeah.
fun.
And mamlaka is kingdom.
And malacha is work.
Okay. I remember having a student in class that said, "Oh, that's king. I remember because the little dots look like an upside down crown." He failed. I was like, you got to get past that because there are a lot of those little upside down crowns in Hebrew.
So is this next sentence
This
in
next
each
sentence,
man
this next sentence is Samuel's sentence.
No, we need to translate this verse.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So this one is Vaizaku.
Vayizaku.
Vaizaku.
Vayizaku. They za'ak. Za'aku. What is za'ak?
They prayed.
No, panicking. They cried out. They screamed. They each shouted out.
And the word sa'ak is laugh, right? From Yitzchak.
With
Tzachak.
yeah.
From with a sade.
It
Yes.
should be
and
tzachak, but it can also be tzachak.
And the each here means each, like each man.
Yes, this is called what they call the distributive construction.
So each man called
each man.
out to his God. God.
A man to his God, meaning each
Man
man
to his God.
to his. In the book of Ruth, remember we read last week, chapter 1, where we had each woman to her mother's house.
Yeah.
Where she said, get up, go back, each woman to her mother's house. Normally, we find this expression in the masculine, each man to such. So this one says, Ish el Elohav, a man to his God. Each man to his God.
So and they cast.
There's a lot of casting going on in this, aren't they? Isn't there?
Kelim, is it just things?
Yeah.
Vessels.
Vessels.
Kelim.
But normally kilim can be dishes or instruments, or it can be like musical instruments. It can be a lot of things. It's a very flexible word.
Which Ve'ania this from Ania.
They cast the instruments which were on the boat into the sea. They cast the vessels.
Oh, so
that
Ania, never mind. So yeah.
That would be
from
the
boat
boxes and
into the
stuff.
sea.
But it was the cargo.
From the boat into the sea to Raquel.
You know the word kal?
What's the call stem? Light.
What?
Light. So the
It can mean
Hakel.
like light or swift, but in this case, light. To make light. To make it lighter. It's hifil of kal.
Infinitive.
To make lighter I'm having trouble with this verse.
From upon them. To make light from upon them. Because being on the ship, it was very heavy. The ship was going to sink. So they're making it light from upon them. Light from upon themselves.
And
Okay.
Jonah.
Notice the word order?
Yeah, subject verb.
Or focus.
Right.
And Jonah is it Edad,
So they're all panicking, each one crying out to their gods and throwing things off the ship to make it lighter. V'yonah, and as for Jonah, that's focus. V'yonah yarad el yarkatei asfina.
he went nuts. Yarad, no.
He went down.
Is it went down?
Mm-hmm. Yarad.
So
He went nuts. Is that what you said? He went nuts.
Yarkete, is it bottom?
Well, I think the King James would say the bowels of the ship. Bowels of the ship. That means the lower parts. He went down into the lower parts of the ship. It just means he went below deck, right? Their ships were not that big. He went below deck. Vayishkav v'yeradam.
And he slept.
Yeah, he lay down. Mishkav is to lay down. And le'eradem, it's related to what God did to Adam. He caused a tardema to fall onto him. A deep sleep.
So
Vayeradem, he fell asleep. It's what stem is it? It's not kal, right? It's not yirdam. It's yeradem, which means it's.
This is a little bit trickier.
Yeah.
But there is one thing that tells you what stem it is.
Is it PL?
No.
Pa,
That would be Yeradim. Yeradim with
You would have a
in the back.
dagesh in the yes.
In the
But there is one
Yeah.
thing. Do you notice anything that in this form that's distinctive?
well, the patach.
Not the patach,
Hmm.
but the kamatz, yes.
Okay.
Which verb stem takes a kametz in the prefix form? Or in the yiktol, or in the
This is
imperfect?
In the future.
Yes.
I forgot.
A nifal.
So, yeah, nifal.
Yeah, you don't have that first assimilated noon because resh can't take a dagesh, can it? So it disappears and nothing happens, and this is called virtual doubling. In other words, it doesn't double, but it should.
No, it's not virtually doubled. That happens with chet. This is compensatory lengthening.
Well, oh yeah,
The resh
I'm
is not
sorry, I'm
doubled,
sorry,
so
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It
the-
lengthens the yod from a
Yeah.
hirik to a sere. Yes,
Mhm.
right. I misread that. I'm sorry. Pay
Yeah,
attention
I
to
need
Jason.
to brush up on all this stuff. Oh my goodness.
Jason is always, remember what compensatory lengthening is? It's where you have a dagesh, but the next letter can't take it, so the dagesh ricochets off the resh and bounces back to the yod and lengthens
No.
the vowel.
No, it's where sigma does not like to have a nun or a nun tau in front of it, so it drops them and then the vowel lengthens. So legonsi becomes legosi, legusi.
Greek.
Yes,
Shut
compensatory
up,
lengthening.
Jason.
So let's read through these verses very quickly, follow along, and then we'll go back into 6 and keep on going with Samuel. ויהי דבר אדוני אל יונה בן אמיתי לאמור, קום, לך אל נינווה העיר הגדולה, וקרא עליה, כי עלתה רעתם לפני. ויקום יונה לברוח תרשישה מלפני אדוני, וירד יפו, וימצא אונייה באה תרשיש, ויתן שכרה, וירד בה לבוא עמהם תרשישה מלפני אדוני. ואדוני הטיל רוח גדולה אל הים, ויהי סער גדול בים, והאונייה חישבה להישבר. ויראו המלאכים, ויזעקו איש אל אלוהיו, ויטילו את הכלים אשר באונייה אל הים, להקל מעליהם. ויונה ירד אל ירכתי הספינה, וישכב, וירדם. Okay. You followed? Like you should have understood basically what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Well, that is a lot faster than they're used to hearing it.
Can you imagine learning English and you never hear somebody just speak English? Speak.
Mm.
All right. So verse
Mhm.
6.
These
Aaron,
are
how are
long
we doing
verses.
this? We read through it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's your turn.
So I read it first in Hebrew, or just go
Yep.
word by word.
Read it in Hebrew first.
By the way, Jonathan and I do this all the time. Like we just sit, we open a book and we just start reading. Read
Well,
a
not
verse,
as often
translate,
as-
read a verse, translate.
Not as often as we should.
We used to do it a lot.
We can do it a lot again.
Now he plays video games.
I get paid for that now.
Yeah, making money.
For having fun. Isn't that a
Yeah.
novel idea?
Yeah.
Making money for playing. Anyway, go for it.
Okay. Vayikrav.
Vayikrav.
Elav Rav. Chachovel.
Hachovel. No, I'm sorry. It's not. It's Chovel. I'm sorry.
Chachovel.
By the way,
Vayom.
Rav Chovel is a technical term.
Rav Hachovel.
Mhm.
Vayomer li ma lecha nirdam.
Vayomer
Kum.
lo.
To what?
Li. I think you said Vayomer li.
Oh, yes, I did say that.
Vayomer lo.
Vayomer lo ma lecha nirdam kum kara el Elohecha
Elohecha.
ulai yit yitashet
Mhm.
yitashet ha Elohim lanu velo
Lanu. Lanu.
lanu.
Try to work on reading the accents if you have questions. You don't have to worry about what they're called or what level of accent they are. Just look at where they fall under what syllable. Because I'm still learning the accents as far as what they're called in their level of disjunction or conjunction.
Yeah. Velo noved.
Uh-huh.
All right. Yikrav. Yikrav elav. Rav. All right, so the Rav Chachovel
Essentially, chovel is another word for sailor, chovel, and Rav means master or chief, great one. So Rav HaChovel is taking chovel as a collective, the sailors, and Rav HaChovel is the great of the sailors, that is the captain. Rav HaChovel is the captain.
So the captain of the sailors, or yeah, of the sailors, is that like drew near or
Approach.
drew near to him and said to him,
Malach HaNirdam. This is very colloquial. We would say this in modern Hebrew. Malach HaNirdam. Malacha is like, what are you doing? Malach HaNirdam. What are you doing falling asleep? In other words, why are you falling asleep? What are you doing falling asleep? What do you have? Ma yesh lecha. What's your problem? Ma lecha. What do you have? What do you have falling asleep? What is your problem?
Is that a participle there, nirdam?
The Nifal participle.
Sleeping.
What tells you that that's a participle?
Well, I know it's radam or reish dalet mem, and I see a noon at the front.
That tells you it's a nifal.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't.
Kamatz again.
Well, you would have kamatz here anyway if it were perfect because it's pause. It's with et nachta.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, kamatz.
Okay, so get up, call to your gods. Ulai. Yeah, I'm not sure on ulai.
Perhaps, maybe.
Perhaps.
Yitashet ha'elohim lanu. Yitashet ha'elohim lanu. Perhaps God will be mindful of us.
What's the root there? Yitashet.
Ashat.
Ashat.
Mhm.
Is that a hit pile?
Mhm.
Oh,
Lehit Ashet.
Or as Harry Solomon would say, oh.
Who is Harry Solomon?
Oh, you need to watch. You need to watch Third Rock from the Sun. It's fantastic.
Mhm.
It's on IMDb TV, which is free, so you should watch it.
Ulai yitashet Elohim lanu. Perhaps God will be mindful of us. Maybe he'll
mindful
think of us.
of us. Yeah.
Velonoved.
And not something.
What is avad? This is kal, by the way.
Oved. Or not.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten
Yeah,
Son,
too easy.
that whosoever believeth in him should not yoved, but have
Oved.
everlasting life.
So he will take notice of, God will take notice of us, and we not die.
We will not perish. We will not pass away. We will not be lost. We use the PL of this word to mean to lose something, like I lost my keys. Ibadati et maftichot sheli. Ibadati. And if something got lost, you say ne'evad in the nifal, ne'evad, or just avad. Avadli hamafteach. The key, like I lost my key, you say avadli hamafteach, or ne'evadli hamafteach. So lo neved, we will not perish. Jonathan, are you lost?
Oh, yes, I am. Okay, I got it. So, Vayomru ish el re'ehu lahu is that vanapila or vanapila? Vanapila goralot. Vaned'a be'elmi Beshelmi hara'a hazot lanu. Vayapilu goralot vayipol hagoral al Yonah. So this is a fun verse. We have more casting going on. Casting and casting and casting. I never made this connection before today.
Well, you've got le'atil and le'apil. Casting lots is to make them fall. You make them fall on the ground.
Yeah. Okay, so each man said to his companion, there we have the distributive each again. Go, and you could say, and cast lots.
So in this case, it's like let us do it. Lechu doesn't mean go. But
yes, I was gonna. Okay. But it's this is another v'yiktol pattern. We were just talking about this to somebody. That's your let us. That's your let us. That's your real imperfect or your cohortative. So let us cast lots, and then v'nechda.
Ned.
I'm sorry, v'ned'a. So then you have your another v'yiktol. So another aerial imperfect, and you can do so that we might see. Or you could say, and we will see.
So that we might know.
I'm sorry, yeah. No. Yeah, no. And then
which is the first yod, right?
Beshelami, yes. Beshelami is on whose account, I think. and you have the b, and then you have the she. The she is basically asher, right? So this may tell you that this is a later writing. Bashelemi,
Or from the north.
yeah, or from the north. So so we may know on whose account is this evil for ourselves. So we will know for ourselves, I guess.
Oh, so we'll know who's to blame for this evil happening to us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The Shelemi
So,
is in that to whom. In
right.
that to whom. Or it belongs to somebody, and his things, it's in his things, it's among his things.
On whose account?
Yeah.
Yeah.
ונדע בשלמי הרעה הזאת לנו. How,
So,
like, why did this happen to us?
so vayapilu goralot. So they cast lots. Vayipol hagoral al Yonah, and the lot fell upon Jonah. Who can parse vayipol? Anyone except for Jason.
We use this word every day.
Yeah, but we haven't seen it very often in our classes. So it's a good question. In my opinion.
Is it
Is it what?
Nifal?
Yes.
Nifal? No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Man, what's the matter with me today? No, it's not Nifal. But you're on the right track. Sort of. I'll tell you, it is a regular call, right? Yishmor, Yipol. So what's the Dagish? Samuel?
Is the Dagish the noon?
Yes. Yes, very nice.
From Nafal.
Nafal to fall. Mm-hmm. So it looks like a regular call, except it's got the assimilated noon.
So yin pol becomes yi pol.
So it's still a call?
Mm-hmm.
So even with the Hirik?
Nafal yin pol.
Call imperfects always have a Hirik underneath. Usually, not always. Right? Yishmor, Tishmor, Tishmeri.
That's why he says vayikrav, because you stress those syllables. Tishmor, yishmor. It's not tishmor, yishmor.
Did I say vayikrav?
No, Samuel said vayikrav.
Oh, I tend to say yishmor too if it's standing on its own.
Yeah, but it's not. It's yishmor.
Yeah, it's not technically, but it's how I memorize the paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when you memorize things wrong.
Yeah.
ויפול הגורל על יונה, ויאמרו אליו, הגידה נא לנו באשר למי. באשר למי is the same בשל מי. It's the same thing. בשל מי, in the previous verse, here is written, it's spelled out, באשר למי הרעה.
My professor would probably say that this is bad writing. Why on earth would they switch forms one verse apart from each other?
Why not? ויאמרו אליו, הגידה נא לנו באשר למי הרעה זאת לנו. מה מלאכתך ומאין תבוא, מה ארצך ואי מזה עם אתה. אי מזה עם אתה. Notice the stress, ata. See the stress on it?
Pause again.
Siluk. Yeah. So he says, they said to him, Hagida nalanu. Tell us, we pray. Hagida nalanu. Ba'asher lemi hara'a hazot lanu. On whose account is this evil befallen us?
This Jason reads it almost like a chant. I love listening to him read.
Ma malachtecha. What is
he reads it
job?
like he reads it like a Protestant preacher.
What is your job? מה
Or at least a
מלאכתך?
Southern Baptist preacher.
ומאין תבוא?
Oh.
Notice the tavo is the imperfect, and they're asking, where are you coming from? Right now, where are you coming from? Me'ain tavo. Ma artzecha. What is your land? V'm'ei mize'am ata. And what people do you belong to? What people are you from? A mize'am is a little strange. Today we would arrange it, and we would say me eze am ata. From which people are you? A mize'am ata. We stick eze together to mean which. Eze, like po is here, a for where? Ze, a ze. Ze is this one. A ze, which one?
He's,
So po,
from
a for.
where?
How are we,
a
how
ze.
are we, how are we doing on energy levels? We have gone an hour and 15 minutes, which is standard for college level and graduate level class periods.
What were you saying? What were you asking?
How are you feeling on mental
Alertness.
capacity? Mental
Doing-
energy.
Doing okay.
You want to do a couple more? Or you want to call it a day? It's up to you.
No, we can do more.
Okay. Wow, I've never had students say that before. This is a historic day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Are you in your office, Samuel?
Yeah.
I thought for a second that was a lady friend.
No, no.
But then I was like, I see his diplomas on the wall.
Right.
You, like me, have not updated yours.
Updated it?
Yes, to the Asbury University version.
Oh, no.
Nah.
No, I'm all right.
All right. Sorry,
Well,
whose
no.
turn is it? I'm confused.
On 9, right?
Or-
Marcelo, no?
Yeah, Marcelo. This is a little bit long, so let's do this.
By the way, I told a joke today to my Mishnah group. I asked a question. Okay, he sent the link to the lesson, to the meeting, and I said, "We're meeting in 2 hours, right?" Like I asked in Hebrew, "Anachnu nifgashim ba'od sha'atayim, nachon?" And then he wrote back yes in English. And I wrote him, and I said, "Let your yes be ken and your no lo. For anything less than this is not Hebrew." And then I said, "Oh, I'm paraphrasing Jesus. Let your yes be yes and your no no." I thought it was, let
That's
your yes
awesome.
be ken and your no lo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Complex joke there.
Jason, make a good dad. He's not even a dad.
Yeah, dad joke.
I make dad jokes as well.
Why is verse 9 long? It's a line and a half.
Yeah, not that long.
All right. Oh, I have the.
Oh, I
window
can't hear you,
shown.
Marcelo.
I hear you. Oh, now
Sorry, oh God.
All right, so go for
Sorry.
it, Marcelo. Sorry if you've been reading for a while.
Yeah. Vayomer alehem
Very nice.
Iveri Anochi.
notice the stress.
hmm
Anochi.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
pause. That's
But
a-
usually it would be a nochi, right?
yes, but
And
in this
this
it's in
is
pause.
weird. This is weird. So I think that Jason is right. Is Bashelami being from the north, because here we have Anochi, which is an archaic form, an older form.
Mm.
So that's interesting.
But he says Ivri, Ivri. Ivri is where we got the name Hebrew, like the language, Ivrit. Ivrit, Hebrew language. Ivri is the person, Ivrit is the language.
Okay. Anochi.
So Ivri Anochi, Ivri Anochi.
I'm a Hebrew.
Mhm.
V'et Adonai Elohe Hashamayim Ani Yareh.
Now, interesting. Finally, we get into focus. We have two focused expressions. Ivri is fronted, and so is the object. V'et Adonai Elohe Hashemayim Ani Yareh. So that's interesting.
Mm.
So
Because
two
why would he be doing
consecutive
that?
two consecutive focus expressions. Probably because he's answering the question.
Yes, he's answering the question.
Yeah.
What is your people? Ivri Anochi.
Mhm.
And who is your God? Et Adonai Elohei Shamayim Ani Re'eh.
Isn't this fascinating? This is why I love Hebrew so much. It's not a language where if you learn it, like most Old Testament translations are reasonably good ones, but you get little intricacies of the language that you don't get in English if you study the Hebrew. And that's what I find so fascinating. That's just my opinion. Because you would not get this in an English translation, right? This little nuance.
Mhm.
So, Ani Yareh Asher Asa.
That can't go together. Ani Yareh, it has to go with et. Et Adonai Elohei Hashamayim Ani Yareh. And then you have to go forward. You have to break that. That's a strong break. You see the two dots above it?
Ani
The two dots.
Yareh.
That's called katon, zakif katon, and it's a strong distinction, strong disjunction.
Okay. Asher Asa et Yam V'et Hayabasha. Hayabasha.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so he said to them, I am a Hebrew, and the Lord God, the
Lord, God of
God of the
Hashemayim.
heavens,
Ani Yareh.
I serve.
Yareh, not Avad.
Oh,
Red.
that's
Yareh. We just had it.
okay.
Well, Jason, we didn't have it in the reading, but Jason used it as an example.
We had it in the reading, in verse 5.
Verse 5.
Did we?
The
I fear
sailors
the Lord.
were afraid.
Fear.
Mhm.
I fear the Lord.
I fear the Lord God of heaven.
I
Yeah.
fear the Lord, God of heaven, which made the heavens and the Yabasha.
Hayabasha.
In Genesis chapter 1, it was the Yabashah that was called earth.
Mm.
The
Well,
waters gathered together into one
But it's
place and the
not
dry
earth,
ground
it's not
appeared.
Adamah.
When he was creating,
He created, he said, the waters gathered together into one place and the dry ground appeared. And he said that the dry ground he called earth. Yabashah. The word for dry is yavish. And the dry ground
well,
is called
isn't Yabasha more particularly a shore?
Nope. It just means dry ground.
Oh, does it?
And
Oh no, yeah, shore is
the word
something
for
else.
the word for a continent is yabeshet. Yabasha, yabeshet. Like Africa is a yabeshet. There are 7 yabashot. Yabeshet, yabashot.
Yabasha.
All right.
Sha. Yabasha.
Altogether, Samuel only got to read one verse. I think he should probably get to read one more before we cut.
Sure.
Verse 10.
Vayir'u ha'anashim yir'ah gadolah vayomru elav mazot asita ki yardu
Yad.
yadu ka'anashim ki mil milifne Adonai hu boreach ki hagid lachem higid lachem.
The word order here is brilliant. It's what I suggest, that it's not that after ki the subject and verb reverse. It's not really inversion. It's that something takes first position other than the subject. So ki yad'u hanashim, this is clear, or the people knew. Ki yad'u hanashim. The subject is in second position. First position is yad'u, second position is hanashim. And then we have another ki, and the first position is a prepositional phrase, and then hu boreach, the subject is in second position, and then the verb follows.
Good.
I think that we should analyze that in terms of how German has first and second position with their verbs. I think that there's something to it.
Yeah, and Cook would call it valency. That's the linguistic term for it. Like how many verbs can take.
How many arguments a verb
Yeah,
can take.
how many objects, how many adjuncts can a verb take, and how does it affect meaning? Yeah.
So notice yir'a gedola, a great fear, is a cognate object.
Cognate accusative.
Cognate accusative. Yeah, object and accusative is the same. So they feared a great fear.
We've seen that before in the Joseph story, remember? I dreamed a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Halam halamti. Halom halamti. Or if you're a Les Mis fan, I dreamed a dream of time gone by.
Okay, you're gonna keep going. Vayom Elav.
Yes, so they.
Okay, yeah, we got 5 minutes.
They said to him,
there you
go. What is this?
Ma na'aseh.
Ma zot asita.
That you did or something.
What is
I'm looking
it
I'm looking at the wrong spot.
What is it you've done? Ma zot asita.
What did you do? Because the men knew that from before Yahweh, he boreach,
flees, runs away.
He was running he fled. That's what I'm looking for. He fled because.
What verse are we on? What the heck?
10.
Okay.
I
see it. Thank you.
The men knew that he was running away from God's presence.
Yeah, because he gave them. I don't know.
He gave them because he had told them. He had told them.
We learned it as to tell or declare. Remember?
Lehagid, to
so
tell.
you see it. So you see it's a hifil, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see the dagesh and the gimel.
Yeah.
So what's the root?
Is it the noon, gimel, dalet?
Yep.
But noon, gimel, dalet is not a word. It's only hifil.
The root.
Oh, really?
The root, the 3-letter root, not necessarily nagad.
There is a word nagid, that is, it means a prince or a ruler. It's used in Daniel chapter 9, chapter 7, chapter 9. The people of the ruler who is to come. Right? Daniel chapter 9, verse 27. 77s are declared upon your people, upon your holy city. Remember this? Yep. And that's Mashiach Nagid, an anointed ruler. So Kihigid Laem, he told them. He had told them. They knew he was running away from God's presence because he had told them.
So that implies he had told them when he started. He joined.
Probably. He said, "I want to get. Here's money. I want to get on your boat. I'm running away from Yahweh."
So this is awkward because they ask him to cry out to his God when they're in trouble,
and maybe God will take notice
he's running.
of us.
He's running away from him. They still cast lots to try to figure out who's causing the trouble.
Yeah, maybe maybe Yahweh wouldn't be mad at him for running away.
What was casting lots? What was casting lots in the ancient Near East? Why did they do it?
Because they were mystics.
In Jesus' day, they did it for to decide who gets what, right? They cast lots for his clothes or whatever. But in the ancient times, it was a form of divination. And it was also they read entrails for divination purposes as well, which is disgusting.
Remember that it says in the Proverbs that the lot is in the hand of God. They believed that if you cast lots, that God would be the one making the decision that we would attribute to chance.
Right.
We'd say throw dice. And it's just random and whatever, but they would think that God is the one who made the decision if you threw the dice.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Did we finish that verse?
11.
Yep.
All right, we're
at
time.
11.
It is at time. So let's see. What do I want to do on Thursday? Can we meet on Thursday, first of all?
Yeah, but I'd like to talk about when we will wrap up. To be honest, I need to turn in my first chapter of my dissertation or my thesis.
Let's do
2 weeks from now, and then
a week from now.
2 weeks from now, and then
okay. Let's okay then.
I don't know. I just want to figure out when we're gonna end because I need.
We're never ending. This is you paid entrance, and now you're reading Hebrew for the rest of your life.
You're solidified.
Oh, I'd love that, but
let's call this next week the last week, and let's keep reading. I'm sorry that we didn't get to read more articles and do more historical grammar, but I think the compositions were valuable. And we did enough historical grammar for you to be, if you review it, for you to be aware of the most common Proto-Semitic features, which is more than most PhD students would do. So I think you're in good shape. So now it's best that you just read. So next week, let's talk about if we want to continue with a reading group of sorts. Just to go through and read. No preparation necessary.
We can have people join us who want to read Hebrew.
That's true. Henry's son asked me if I wanted to go through Isaiah with him, and I was like, well, I mean, I'm already doing it with another guy, but he might be open for you joining us. And
Isaiah is easier to read than Jeremiah.
I mean not Isaiah. Oh yeah. We are doing Isaiah. That's right. That's right. We are doing Isaiah. And so he said he feels like he would be a third wheel. And I said, why? And he said, because you guys are probably way better at it than I am. And I said, dude, you have your PhD from Claremont. It's like you should be fine. He's like, maybe I'm just underestimating myself. And I was like, yeah, I think probably you are. He makes brilliant observations in both languages. So
I'd love to keep reading. I just want to figure this out so I can.
This guy says
for sure.
This guy said, "Does Jason even like me?" I was like, "Jason likes anybody who knows what they're talking about. You know what you're talking about."
We should get him on Be Hebrew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Oh, that would be great. He'd be a great contributor. All right. So on Thursday, can we meet on Thursday? Did we decide?
I can meet an hour. Yeah.
All right. Let's do an hour.
I'll open up at work.
Let's do an hour of reading, and then we'll talk about what we want to do for future reading. But
so are we done with compositions?
We can keep going with compositions.
No, I'm just asking.
I think we are. But we can keep doing compositions if you want during our reading, if you feel like it.
I think all of these are great. I just want to, like, are we going to continue meeting consecutively every Tuesday, Thursday, or just going to be sporadic? Or I just want to figure that out.
Let's do, I don't know. Would you like to start with once a week until you get the stuff off your plate? Let's just do 1 hour and no preparation required.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make it easier?
Yeah.
Okay. So that sounds good. So we'll talk about that more on Thursday. So okay. Thursday will be the last one. Because after that.
Next Thursday? Well, I don't know what you're saying. Thursday is a declaration.
No, today's Tuesday. This Thursday.
Right. But you said next week would be the last week, and now you're saying this Thursday will be the last week.
I meant the next Thursday that we have. This Thursday. Because Marcelo says he has something due in 2 weeks. And I want to give him time to be able to focus on his stuff. Is your whole thesis due in 2 weeks?
No, just the first chapter for review.
Have you
and it's methodology, so it's everything about intertextuality and all that jazz.
So it's easy.
Which I already have read all the material pretty much. Although I'm not sure how much more he will want me to read on methodology. It's like, how much do I need to read? So I'm gonna write what I've already read and just kind of write a few pages and hope for the best and be like, is this enough? Because I don't want like my first chapter to be so long about methodology that it's just like.
Yeah.
Is intertextuality the new word for like adaptation and plagiarism?
I think that's part of intertextuality.
Like you just use someone else's material and change it and make it yours. And
well, like how does
ask the biblical writers?
Yeah.
Why they did that?
The Revelation, complete plagiarism.
Yeah,
from Ezekiel, from Daniel, from Isaiah, from Jeremiah. He just took all of it and threw it all into one book.
But obviously
Zechariah.
that was okay to do. They didn't have the same consequences. They do it all the time in the Old Testament.
They do it all the time in all of that literature.
Right.
Doesn't make it
like
right.
James. I've read like James Bull, and he has a quote. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see.
That's what you should do. You rewrite someone else's book, and then you say it's not plagiarism. I'm being intertextual.
But they didn't have a concept of plagiarism back then. You can't superimpose our Western standards on an ancient
the Gospel
text,
of Matthew from the Gospel of Mark. Hello, that's plagiarism.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
here's
intertextuality. My focus is on biblical plagiarism.
In his abstract, he says intertextuality is not a phenomenon of given texts as static objects as much as it is a phenomenon of readers making meaning of a perceived complex of textual signs and their meanings.
Yep.
So
I
he's
agree
just
with that.
saying that anytime you read something, you bring meaning to it. Just, so the intentionality of the author is one step into comprehension, but the way that you interpret, and then he will argue that the community reading
Wow, I can totally get that. Okay, today in the Greek lesson that we did, one of the stories we read was about a boy climbing a tree and taking a stick and hitting olives and shaking the branch to make the olives fall down. And the word used for stick was rabdos. Rabdos. And you might recognize it. It's from Hebrew chapter 1, where it said that the scepter of his kingdom or whatever, but it uses the word rabdos. I remembered that thing. And so all of these little things in our stories and our reading, I bring up, I'm like, remember like we have the word lepo, leave, like you leave something. And I tell them, in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, they say katalepomenoi, like being left around. I said, so you've got all these words that are connected to things in the New Testament, but it's not because those stories have anything to do with the New Testament. It's just my connections in my head.
Jason knows. Jason is. Let me stop recording.
You are bringing in your